Is it possible to take responsibility and love someone like your parents, your partner, or children without turning that love into responsibility, anxiety, fear, and emotional burden?
Love is not something that you can just randomly get into. And yet, our relationships are founded on the body. The underlying assumption there is that this fellow is just a body, so all that he needs is physical health, good food, good salary to take care of his material aspirations. Yes, obviously, we want our parents to live long, but live long for what? Live long just to extend the age of the body? Is that the purpose of life? What will you do with a healthy body if inside the healthy body you are frustrated, restless, even suffering? Where is heart in this? Where is truth in this? I'm asking you. If all I am thinking of is my own welfare, what will I use you or you for? I will use you just
Acharya ji, I always see my parents getting worried about me, about my career, about my marriage. I also get worried about their health and about to live up with their expectation and to make them proud. So this sometimes create a sense of guilt in me if I hurt them in any way, and a psychological pressure in me. So, observing this, sometimes I conclude that I should not get married and have children because if I don't want to repeat the same cycle of attachment, emotional burden, and anxiety. So, is it possible to take responsibility and love someone like your parents, your partner, or children without turning that love into responsibility, anxiety, fear, and emotional burden?
parent worrying about kids' health. And the kid that we are talking of is at least in mid-20s. And the parent is looking at the kid as a body whose health needs to be taken care of. And then again, as a male body that deserves to get a mating partner, therefore, some kind of marital alliance needs to be arranged. Whether we are talking of the son's health or his marriage, the fact remains that the son is being looked at as a body. The parents are not looking at the son as a conscious entity, as someone whose primary need is the contentment of consciousness and liberation from bondages. The parents are failing to appreciate that. The underlying assumption there is that this fellow is just a body, so all that he needs is physical health, good food, good salary to take care of his material aspirations, and a woman to take care again of his physical needs and maybe loneliness. Now, that can be one kind of relationship, but we all would obviously see that's not the right relationship. That's not the right relationship between parents and kids. That's not the right relationship between any two individuals. Even among friends, that is not the right relationship. On the other side, the son says, I'm worried about my parents' health. That's noble. And obviously, kids should be concerned about their parents' health, especially if the parents are aging and ailing. It is basic humanity to look after the physical requirements and health of your parents. That's fine. But is that all that is there to one's father or mother? When you call up your father, all that you want to ask is the heart rate. When you call up your mother, the first thing on your mind is the sugar levels. And even if that happens to be the first thing on your mind, maybe the diabetes is severe. Maybe the cardiac element is chronic. Does that need to be the first and only thing? Yes, obviously, we want our parents to live long. But live long for what? Live long just to extend the age of the body? Is that the purpose of life? Yes, obviously, I'll want to ask, did you get your checkups done? Did you visit the doctor in time? Mama, is Papa taking all the medicines regularly? Some of the parameters in the report don't seem to be improving. Let's take him to a better hospital. Obviously, one would do that. But one should not stop at that. One cannot say my job as a son is to ensure that my parents live long. Yes, they must live long. But more importantly, they must live deep. And that is something very missing from our cultural contexts. And then the question is, what will you do with a healthy body if inside the healthy body you are frustrated, restless, even suffering? When you grow up, when you're your age, 25, 30, something, the relationship between parents and kids have to be adult to adult relationships. And among adults, the best, the highest form of relationship is friendship. And when you meet your friends, you are not concerned about just their physical welfare, are you? Are you? You'd be a pretty strange kind of friend if all that you keep asking your buddies is your headache okay? Are you keeping your weight in check? Are you eating right? You're taking timely baths? What kind of friendship would that be? Where is heart in this? Where is truth in this? Where is consciousness in this? I don't think I need to clarify that I'm not against taking care of the physical well-being of those you are related to. That's basics, obviously. My contention is, as human beings, we are characterized by our consciousness rather than our body. How did you gain admission to this institute? By displaying your body? By showing off your muscles? Yeah? By parading your pretty self? Or did you have to demonstrate the power and purity of your consciousness to be the occupants of these seats in the first place? Please tell me. Yes, obviously, before you are allowed to enter, there would have been some physical checks as well, right? So eyesight would have been checked and a few other things. But that's secondary. That's secondary. The first thing was the IIT JEE. And IIT JEE gives two hoots to how you look, how tall you are, how pretty you are, how heavy you are, what your gender is, and many other things. All that the JEE cares for is Can you be sharp enough, insightful enough, attentive enough, disciplined enough, factual enough? Because that's what matters in a human being. Among animals, obviously that does not matter much. You go to these animal fairs where cattle are sold and bought in bulk, and nobody is going to test the consciousness of a buffalo before buying or selling it. Right? What would you rather look at? The body of the buffalo or the bull or the ox, whatever. Is that what we want to bring our relationships to? Just the body? Test the body. If you are physically good, then you are good. If you are physically good, then you are good. And that is not exclusive to the parent-child relationship. That is much more pervasive in the man-woman relationship. And how do we forget that it's the backdrop of the Valentine's Day in the campus? How do you look at the other gender? That's a very important question at your age. Just as a body? Yes, that's what we often do. Who is the other? Just a body. And if the body looks sexy, I would go after that person. And the person might be thoughtful, creative, compassionate, deeply conscious, yet if the person does not appear physically attractive, one feels reluctant in initiating a relationship. So that's the way we are operating. But if that's the way we are operating, that's very animalistic. That's the way animals relate to each other. You go, you look at a child and you immediately remark, oh, what a healthy child. What have you seen in the child? What have you seen in the child?
The physical.
Just the body. How do you know whether the child is healthy? The jails are full of physically healthy criminals. You want to care just about the physicality and physical well-being and the physical attractiveness and the physical sustenance of the other and yourself? Or is there more to life? I'm asking you. Is love something of the body? Is creativity something of the body? Is compassion something of the body? Is courage something of the body? All that which makes life worth living is something a little beyond the body. And yet our relationships are founded on the body. That doesn't quite add up, does it? Yeah? Have I answered, or do I need to be more explicit?
If you can, sir.
In what sense? Yes, come up with the remaining parts.
So, like, the second part of my question was that, is it possible to love someone and take responsibility without turning that love into anxiety, emotional burden, fear, expectations? And if yes,
No, you can have care, even worry about the other person, provided it is honestly about the other person. Chances are, by cleverly wording your question, you are hiding the intent of the questioner. When you say you are worrying about the other person, is the worry really about the well-being of the other? Or is your own self-interest hiding in your worry? Please tell me. If it is truly about the other and not about you, then go ahead and worry as much as you want to. Most of the worry and anxiety and other neurotic conditions that you experience are not because you are very concerned about your friends or relatives or the country or the world or other species. No, no, no. We are not so selfless. Most of the worry that we experience with respect to others is the worry that comes with threatened self-interests. Once the object of worry ceases to be of value to your self-interests, you will find that you are no more worrying about him. Kids say they worry so much about their parents. But then old age homes are overcrowded. Kids worry about their parents often. There might be exceptions, fine. Often only as long as their own physical, psychological, or financial well-being is tied to the parents. When the parents become old, senile, debilitated, they are often thrown to the vridhashrams. So, is it the other that you are really worried about? If yes, then go ahead and worry as much as is needed. Please do that. Worry in itself is not a problem, but self-centered worrying is definitely a problem. Self-centered anything is a problem, not because of moral reasons, but because it takes something away from what life can offer you. Getting it?
Yes.
So dissociate these two things. Your own egoic interests and the real welfare of the other. Love is about being assured of one's own interests. I'm all right. I don't need to use the other as a means to plug my own hollows. I'm all right as I am. And being relieved of worrying about myself, I can now actually pay attention to the condition of the other. Please think, if you are worried about your own survival or fulfillment or desires, if you are worried about those things, can you truly love the other? You'll have no space. You will have no stamina. It would be impossible to do something for the other when your own self is crying for its unmet needs. Therefore, love is not something that you can just randomly get into. For you to be loving towards the other, first of all, your own internal insecurities must stand reasonably well addressed. An insecure person cannot love. A fearful person cannot love. A greedy, ambitious person would only be violent in the name of love. We don't understand that word and the philosophy behind it, therefore we often abuse it. If all I am thinking of is my own welfare, what will I use you or you for? I will use you just as means for my own internal ends, right? How can I care for you when I am fighting an impossible war on the internal front? All my resources are invested there. I have nothing available to offer you. You get this?
Acharya ji, I have one follow-up on this. we cannot get freedom from the attachment without coming into relationships. So even to get the freedom from the relationship, we need to come into relationship. So could you please elaborate on that? Or maybe I got it wrong.
No, you don't need to get into additional relationships. There is nobody here who is not related. Just that the conventional definition of relationships, especially in a campus, pertains to a man-woman relationship. At the philosophical level, if I hold this mug here, this is a relationship. In fact, I don't even need to hold a physical object. Something in the mind, in the form of a thought, denotes a relationship. So relationships don't have to be additionally manufactured. They already exist. Who is not related? If you're holding that mic, you are already in a relationship. Wearing those clothes, you are in relationship. Sitting in the auditorium, you are in relationship. Thinking of something, anything, a cricket match, a politician, anything, there is a relationship. Now, how does that correspond to freedom from attachment? In your relationship, you have to see the center. You'll have to observe where that relationship is coming from. When the ego operates as a void, as an incomplete entity, then it uses the other as a crutch. It attaches to the other in the hope of some relief, some security, some stability. That's attachment. In attachment, separation remains, right? Two things have attached. They haven't unified. They haven't homogenized. They are just externally attached to each other. So the separation is maintained. The individuality is maintained. Yet some kind of working relationship is struck in the hope that something would be obtained or extracted from that relationship. That's attachment. Attachment is not love. Attachment is, in fact, almost the opposite of love. In love, there is unity. Love is the dissolution of separation, the dissolution of the ego boundary. In attachment, the ego boundary always exists. Two blocks of metals kept in close contact for long will get attached to each other. That doesn't mean that their boundary has vanished. Strike them hard with a hammer and you find they are separated again. They are together only as long as external conditions are favorable. The moment external conditions turn adverse, the attachment is lost. Right? Attachment is the most common characteristic of any relationship the ego can have. Therefore, in your pre-existing relationships, observe attachment and ego. It is in this observation that you might find that you are into something that is needless. I never said that you need to go out and hunt for additional relationships. You are already saturated with relationships. Additional ones are not needed. You have to be honest about what you already have.
Just download the Acharya Prashant app, and there you go to the community section, and you have live testimonials streaming in at the rate of 1 every 5 minutes. I'm seeing lives change in thousands, if not millions, every day in front of my own eyes. We are doing it. We have actually done it.
Join the community of more than 2 lakh participants on the Acharya Prashant app. Your first month is completely free. You'll get full access to Geeta Mission. On the app, you will get regular live sessions, daily exclusive conversations with Acharya Prashant, access to the vibrant Geeta community, wisdom exams, curated news, audiobooks, quotes, and much more. Search Acharya Prashant on Google Play Store or Apple App Store and download now.